I'd go so deep in my mind saying, if my man gets a touch, they're going to kill my family, kind of thing. I don't think I've said this on a podcast.
Wow.
But I used to think, and that's probably why I got reported so much. All the tactics I had, I just found just through accident. So one time I got hit in the back of the elbow, and it made my arm just go dead for the rest of the game. So that was like, oh, I'm just going to whack people. If they've got a straight arm, I was going to all day. I remember saying to my manager, Paul Connors at the time, so I'm never leaving, so you can do it. He's just saying, let me do my effing job, Bakes. You got to go for me. I said, all right, fuck, whatever, but I'm never leaving. And then, yeah, they put an offer in. I was like, interesting.
When I think of the word grit, Dean,
Yes.
the man sitting opposite us, I think he's a great definition of that word. Stephen Baker, welcome to the dos&d
Yes,
show.
thanks.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Love it. How are you, mate?
Going well. Loving life.
That's good.
Having a ball.
Mate, you're looking in phenomenal nick was the first thing I noticed when you walk in. Are you,
You are looking good.
Are you hitting the fitness stuff pretty hard at the moment?
I have recently. So I've taken up boxing lately.
Okay.
So I've just looking after the self a little bit better, and so I'm looking after the fitness more than I did a year or so ago.
Didn't you have a fight not that long ago? Or?
I did beat up Brodie Holland.
Brodie Holland?
For you Collingwood supporters, eat it.
Tell us about that fight. So how did that all come about? And yeah.
I think I called out Stevie J. So I've been doing
Yep.
talks at footy clubs and stuff, and Stevie J was coaching the other team where I was playing. I mean, where I was doing a talk one weekend, and we were talking about the gather round. We're thinking, oh, you and I would be a great main event on the gather round. And then we said, let's do a little video. And so I called Stevie J out on the video, and he said he'd beat the shit out of me. And I said, no way. And then we got all these promoters that rang us, and Stevie J didn't want to do it. I don't know if he wussed out, but I won't say that. But there was short notice. It was like there was a card on in 6 weeks, and he was busy. He was coaching, and short notice. And then I had a chat to Brodie Holland. We were thinking about doing a podcast together.
Oh, right.
So to take on you guys.
I swear he did a podcast
Russell Robertson?
with Russell Robertson.
Did
He
he?
had one with Robbo as
you
well.
did do something with him. Yeah, it was a pool table one. Yeah, so long story short, Brodie put the hand up, and we thought, we'll have a crack, and it was a great night. And I think we're probably the same level of skill. I think I just got him in the fitness in the end a little bit, and got him in the last round. But it was an awesome fight, awesome night. But it was very nerve-wracking, and I loved it though, because after footy, you miss those big occasions and playing in front of big crowds, and without your team taking on someone one-on-one. It was a different feeling. I was a lot more scared.
Oh, there
than I
we
thought.
go.
There we go.
Jeez.
Oh,
Look at the rigs.
Hey.
Wowee.
Jeez, it does find stuff quick, doesn't it?
Yeah,
He does. He's
very
very, he's very good.
machine.
Was that the same card as they had? Was it Cam Mooney and Tom Bellchambers? Was that night as
No,
well?
I think were they? No, they were different.
Different night.
Yeah, different.
So is Stevie J still on the cards for a potential fight?
Well, I've been calling him out, but I don't know where he's gone. He's gone missing. He's gone into witness protection, I think.
He liked a video. He liked a video of ours last week, so
did.
he's probably
did he?
watching.
He's
Yeah,
watching. So he's going to see this.
yeah. I think he might.
I
Call
heard,
him out
I heard
again,
he can
Bakes.
throw him pretty well too.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good fight. He can throw him. I can take him.
Well, that's all that matters. Well, you know what? That's a good place to start. I know you've done a few of these, and you've probably told a few of the same stories, but I'm sure for some of our audience that may not have heard them, we love the Stevie J story. And I was telling you off air, I'm a Saints supporter, so you were a big part of my childhood and adolescence. Whether you knew
What
it
does
or
that even mean?
just
sounds
as a hero,
Yeah,
as a hero.
yeah.
But whacking him on the old hand. So that's how I learned to play footy because of you. So what do you have to say for that?
Well, obviously been asked this question a bit. So now, looking back, do you regret it? And I said, no. I think if someone's on the field and they're a target, and I tell the story because he gave me a great backhander earlier in the game. I think it was in the first quarter, and I reckon that's where he broke his hand. He reckons it's not, but I reckon because it made it like a big crack, and then he was rubbing his hand straight after. So I thought he broke his hand on my head, so I'm going to break his hand more. That's what I was thinking. So all game I was just like hitting that same, like whacking him on the hand, and they invented a new rule because of that. You weren't allowed to attack an injured player. But I just thought it was fair game. We had an unbelievable battle. I think you had a grudge after the 2009 grand final. They won, obviously, but I think I got the better of him that day, so that's why we had a bit of a grudge match the next time we played, and I got reported 4 times in that one game.
In that grand final?
No, the rematch.
gotcha.
In
The one
rematch.
after.
Yeah, the one
there we
after.
go.
Yeah, the one after. But at the end of the game, I was whacking his hand all game. He'd broken his hand, and he told the story on a podcast that he went up to the doctor at 3/4 time and said, "My hand is stuffed." He goes, "What do you reckon?" He goes, "Yeah, you're out for probably 4 or 5 weeks." And Stevie looked over at me and he said, "I'm going to get that little prick."
Yeah.
And went out and he gave me the best shot I've ever got. I think I was behind him pulling his underarm hairs out, my little tactic to piss people off. And he just gave me the biggest elbow. You'll be able to find footage of that at the back. Oh, he's already found it. He's really good.
Well, I remember seeing the footage. Your eye just blew up.
Yeah, it blew up. Couldn't see out for about a week. I think eight stitches, and probably the best shot I've ever got. I remember looking up and just seeing stars, and then my eye just closing over straight away. So, yeah, Stevie gave me my best shot. I know I probably deserved it.
You're happy to wear it, aren't you?
Yeah, I gave it a lot out, but I was happy when I got it back. If someone got me, I was like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, Juddy got me back elbow one time, a couple of weeks, and thought, yeah, I deserved it. So,
Well, so many of the greats of the St Kilda Footy Club have talked about their favourite teammate, and you're always mentioned in that. And it's probably because being so relentless, but also you'll do whatever it takes to help the team. So, what was your attitude as a player in terms of just almost whatever it takes?
yeah, I suppose each game I was obviously taking on the other team's best player. I thought if he beats me, they're probably gonna win the game if they have a good game. So I got to have sleepless nights the night before a game. I was just like, I don't want to let the team down. So, and I wasn't the most skillful player, so that was my role to be. So I was probably a little bit more dirtier than most players, and when I got older and a bit slower, I got dirtier as I got older, but I just didn't want to let the team down. That was my attitude going in. I'd do anything it took to win the game, and if it was sort of breaking the rules, I was always on the precipice, I suppose, of breaking the rules. So if I had to do that, I think that's what made me a good player, I suppose.
When you talk about the sleepless nights, I'm a Bulldogs fan, but I remember I went to the 2009 grand final because you motherfuckers beat us in the prelim.
Oh, was that where we won by a point?
Yeah, I think Rui had the toe poke.
Yeah, Rui did the. Oh, I remember that game.
And I walked home crying as a 14-year-old Stevie.
Sorry, mate.
To the point where my dad already bought grand final tickets. So that's how confident he was.
Really?
How bad? Oh, so we went to it, and I was going for the Saints, being the underdog. And thinking back to that grand final, you saying you have sleepless nights. You were on Stevie J that game. What was the build-up like to that game in itself? Your first grand final, you would have played in 3, being the draw.
Yep.
As well. What was that build-up like? And what mindset are you in, knowing you're going to be on Stevie, and what are you going to do to win the granny?
Yeah, it was a bit surreal that week. It was like, growing up in Colac, a little country kid, and then all of a sudden you're about to play in front of 100,000 people. I remember being so nervous. The day of the game, I couldn't eat breakfast. I felt like throwing up. Walking up the race for the first time, and the crowd roar just hitting you in the face. And I remember my legs just went like jelly. I'm like, geez, I hope this feeling goes away. And the night before, couldn't sleep, thinking, and just having bad nightmares about Stevie J kicking the winning goal on me. And I'm just thinking, oh shit. So it was sort of, the build-up was just intense. I suppose you have the carnival or whatever you call it, the night before on the Friday, and just the crowd, and you think, shit, we're playing tomorrow on the big stage. It's like, a very surreal feeling that week.
Do you feel, and I know it's probably a very hard question to answer, but do you feel there's more confidence, or you talked about that feeling of walking out and it all hits you and your legs go to jelly, but if you've got a specific role, and that's to stop Stevie, for example, in that case, or if you're a Lenny Hayes, for example, that's job is to try and basically win the game off their boot. Which one do you feel there's more pressure for?
Good question.
That is a handy question.
Not a bad question. It's got me stumped. I don't know. I think mine was sort of more fear of failure. I think Lenny would be sort of just, I've got to win. So it was different. I suppose different emotions. Everyone uses something different. I was more like, don't fail. I know in my mindset was like, I'd go so deep in my mind saying, if my man gets a touch, they're going to kill my family. And my mindset went that deep, and I'd get myself so riled up that if my man gets a touch, my family's dead, kind of thing. I don't think I've said this on a podcast. Wow. I used to think, and that's probably why I got reported so much. I was like, I'm going to kill my...
Yeah.
So I went a bit crazy sometimes.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, I try to...
Because you were so good.
I try to rile myself up to that intensity where it gets a touch, and I'd get in that frame of mind. which I don't think I've ever said on a podcast. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. So fear of failure versus I'm going to win. I don't know which was the more powerful.
What was the famous the Sirengate? Well, that was one thing.
No, don't bring up that memory.
No.
Missing the winning goal. Every kid's dream.
Because it's probably not a bad segue because you were the tagger. You were the man who shut down the best players, and I'm really keen to actually hear more about certain players and the yap. But Sirengate, we were watching it today and looking back, and we were just laughing. Chris Connolly and Cameron Schwab on the ground, and they're just going off. And could you take us through that down in Tassie? Was it Tassie?
Yeah.
Tassie. Was,
And for those that may not be huge AFL fans, can you maybe just explain exactly what happened that day?
Yeah, so I think the siren went and the crowd was going so crazy that the players didn't hear it, and we're 1 point down.
Yeah, 1 point down.
1 point down, and it was blowing a gale, and I was just in the position. I think I was looking at my man. Then all of a sudden I got the ball in my hand, 30 metres out, and there's the sign had already gone. We didn't know, and then I had a shot for goal and got pushed in the back and missed the goal like I usually do. Vicious push in the back as I was kicking, so put me off. Then I had the shot after the siren as a tagger. I look back. Someone sent me that video a couple of months ago. I had dye in my hair. I'm like, what's going on?
Was there a bit of tips in there?
Yeah, tips in there. I think my sister wanted to be a hairdresser at the time. I said, fucking go for your life, kind of thing. And I just look back, fuck, look what I'm looking like. But yeah, long story short, had a shot after the siren. But I remember I had a negative mindset. I was like, don't kick it out on the full. The wind was going crazy. Don't kick it out on the full and lose the game for the team. So I remember just kicking it as hard as I could from the middle. I didn't sort of line it up with the wind's going that way. I should aim at the left goal, the left goal post and kick a goal. I was more like, don't kick it down the full, don't kick it down the full. That's probably why I missed. If it was Lenny Hayes, he'd be like, kick the goal, and he'd do it. So missed the goal. I kicked, and it was looking good, and then just the wind took it, and it was a draw. No, I think they took the points off us later. But yeah, I remember Lenny who was the coach? Connolly
was Frio's.
Yeah. So Connolly was out the ground and Lenny gave him a push.
Really?
Yeah, Lenny actually pushed him.
Wow.
I thought, Lenny, mad dog. But it would have been a great memory because I would have got cheered off by the boys, and would have been great. But
finally giving you flowers, but no.
But I fucked it up, and one of my regrets. I didn't sort of aim it up.
When did you actually become a tagger? What were you drafted as? Is kind of what kind of play? So you were okay. So you went in as a tagger from the start. Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't have much skills, and I think Johnny Beveridge, our recruiter, rest his soul, he came to the ground. It was, Geelong Falcons. I played and as a tagger, Geelong Falcons, and Steve Ziller was the tagger at St Kilda. I think he was sort of getting to the end of his career. We had to do a laugh and a bit. He's like, "You took my job, you little bastard." But yeah, the first game I remember being on Buddha Hocking. I think I played a couple of games that we sat on the bench in my year, and then I got put on Buddha Hocking in my first proper game. Started on him, and he just came up and gave me the biggest open hander in the nose. I broke my nose, and he goes, "Welcome to the AFL."
Wow.
And I was like, "Fuck!" And he banged me around, but I ended up the ball wasn't bouncing his way. I didn't play well, but I beat him because the ball didn't bounce his way, and I kicked 2 goals, which was fucking unbelievable because I never kicked goals. Even in Junes, I never kicked goals, and just had one of those games where my first tag and beat him. I don't know how many touches he didn't have many touches, but my first game tagging and. Yeah, went on from there.
Now, Bakes was one of the all-time great taggers in the AFL, just niggly, annoying, just like this, just at me all Pressure point. When I think of a company that is always there by your side, just like a great tagger, I think of Fleet Plant Hire Solutions.
Fleet are the best in the business for truck hire, plant hire, fleet hire, anything earth moving. You go to them because they're the best.
Reliable, just like Bakes, reliable. Head to fbh.com.au for all your earth moving needs. Let's head back to the episode with Stephen Baker.
Did you ever share, I'm thinking if you came up against Freo, right, and Ryan Crowley's their tagger, did you ever look at each other and, you both knew, give each other a wink and you both knew your roles?
That's exactly what it was like.
Really?
Yeah. It was like any tagger, anyone that had the same role, you knew how hard it was because you basically had the whole other 22 hating your guts and wanting to kill you. Because even our team, kill their tagger. And I'm thinking, shit, they're going to be exactly the same,
Yeah.
kill me. So it was always, I always respected their tagger. It was, I was just like, well, I mean, give him a little hit on the arse and run past. It was never like, fuck you. It was like more fucking respect. So it was weird you say that because that's exactly what it was like.
Who were some of the other like taggers?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I remember just saying wing. It was just like all of them.
Lingy? Who did you do?
Lingy was a tagger
Yeah,
for a
Lingy,
while.
I played Falcons with Lingy.
Did you?
Yeah.
So getting drafted as a tagger, were you confident of getting drafted? When did it occur to you you're going to get drafted? Because like they talk about rucks now, like not too many teams will take rucks because there's only so many spots and it takes a long time to develop.
Yeah.
I can't, like on the most recent draft, I can't think of anyone that got drafted as a tagger. I can't remember the last person who said this guy's going to be a tagger. It seems like they get molded into it when they come into the system. So how confident were you that you were going to get drafted?
I'd no idea. I was, I think I'd had a big night the night before the draft, but and a few mates were having a laugh, saying, "Oh, Steve might get drafted. Let's have a barbie." And so I had a few mates out drinking at Mum's house, and I remember I was asleep on the couch and I just heard this big eruption. I was like, "Oh, the fuck! What the fuck?" And I looked up and I just saw my name on the TV screen, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" and it flashed off, and I had no fucking idea who I was playing for. And then
Didn't know.
I didn't see it. I just woke up because I heard everyone yelling, and then all my mates, because they were all outside in the barbie, I was inside asleep, and fucking my brother come flying over, fucking elbowed me in the head. What the fuck? And then the phone's ringing, and Tim Watson's on the phone, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Is this a joke?" Like, what?
Weren't you like a high pick as well? Like
Yeah, I was like 27. That's why I said to my mate,
Geez, you passed out early.
Yeah, I said, wake me up at pick. No, I said, wake me up at like pick 70 just in case I scrape in. St Kilda were the only ones that showed interest. Johnny Beveridge came down, met my mum and dad. I thought if it's anyone, it'll be the Saints. I think they had a real late pick. I'm thinking, wake me
How's
up.
the hair?
Oh my goodness.
Oh fuck! I think I blame that on the little sis Vicky. That's terrible.
Oh wow.
How good is that jumper? I must say.
That's
I
a great
I
Good
love
jumper.
that Saints kit.
It's a classic.
The pure milk.
What about the yellow? Do you remember the yellow one? Were you a fan
I didn't mind. I didn't mind.
I don't mind it.
'cause it stood out because no
Yeah.
other team was any close. So
I mean, it would have matched your hair colour.
Yeah,
then.
that was a bad haircut.
Because I've heard you talk.
You said I can cut anything else I want out of this. Is that too late?
We might have to renegotiate that part.
I've heard you talk about the first haircut you had. Didn't you have like a little ponytail or something when you first got there?
I had because I missed my first ever training session at St Kilda.
Yeah.
And I used at Falcons days. I think that's why I stood out in the Falcons in the grand final. I think Johnny Beveridge even mentioned. He goes, "Yeah, you just bloody." I had an undercut. So when I played footy, I had a ponytail, long hair and an undercut. So footy, I tied it up. I looked like an absolute bogan. You're gonna
I was going to say, can we somehow find this?
I've got a
be hard
photo.
to
I can
find.
send it. I can send it
that's
later.
good,
But yeah, I looked disgusting. I was like bald, undercut, ponytail, and then I missed the first ever training session. Got drunk. Barry Hall and Austin Jones led me astray. The Friday night, I had training at 7 a.m. I woke
That's
up.
so poor leadership from those.
It was bad leadership. I woke up in the bed. It was all wet. I'm like, "Oh, let's bring back childhood memories." It was like, but it turned out Barry Hall threw a bucket of water on me to wake me up at 7 a.m. or just before 7 a.m. and didn't wake me up. He went to training without me, and I rocked up. I had like 38 missed calls or whatever, and I was like, "You've missed the first training session," and it's 11 a.m. You're meant to be there at 7 for my first ever session, and I just walk into the club. Everyone had gone. And there was a big guy called Fish. He was our trainer, just standing at the.
The session was finished.
The session was finished. It was just like, "Hi, how you going? Light skills.
Yeah.
Go home." It was like an hour, just to sort of meet everyone.
Oh no!
So I've rocked up there 4 hours late, and it's like this big guy's Fish just standing there, it's like coming in. It was like just 4 hours of sit-ups, going sprint at 1K, sit-ups, come in. I remember throwing up in the bin in the gym.
Yeah.
And he's basically after the session, he says, "And Tim doesn't want to see your fucking face until Monday." And I'm like, it's on the Saturday. So I've had to go through the whole weekend and think, shit, Monday training, and got through the whole session. Tim wouldn't look at me. And at the end of the session, he said, "Barry, Austin, fucking you carry on like that again. You're in the twos all year. And fucking Baker," that's the first time he looked at me, "fucking Baker, you do that, you're on the first train back to fucking Colac." He looked at me and he goes, "Get a fucking haircut." And I was like, so that night, shaved my head. And I was in the front row the next day. And it was like, so
The tagger was born then.
The tagger was born. Like, you got to expect that from taggers, don't you? So it was a tough start to my AFL.
What was Moorabbin like Have you been back since, like, now that's been
I have.
redone? What was it really like back then?
Well, I think it had. Oh, it's great now, but I think it had
Yeah.
more heart back then. So we had
Yeah.
like the old grungy rooms, but we all loved it. We all lived nearby. We'd have a session in the morning, and then we'd have someone's house to go to, and we had a really tight bond. So I think going to that Seaford place was a.
Were you there for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
It
shocking,
was a
wasn't it?
nightmare. So we had to all travel, and we didn't really.
Because you guys used to like Church Street, didn't you? Quite a bit.
Yeah, Church Street, going to a few cafes down there.
Yeah.
Say hello to the locals.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It was a good area. But yeah, the Seaford thing, I think that nearly cost us a granny travelling there and back every day.
Yeah.
I think
What year did you move to Seaford?
I think was that.
I would have been around that 2010, wouldn't it?
I think it was 2009. I think we were there.
So the grand final year.
I think so. I don't quote me,
Yeah.
but I remember thinking.
I don't know why, but when I think of Seaford, I just think of the Scott Waters era.
Yeah.
I don't even. But
Peninsula
it what
No, I think it was before.
it was definitely Ross, because I remember when he went to Freo. I remember everyone being out the front of Seaford, like
I
feeling.
think I've said before that I think it cost us the granny because
Yeah.
we're all chummy and we're all around the. We loved Moorabbin, and then we're like.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite coffee spot in Seaford?
We didn't really have one.
Was it Macca's?
That was the thing. We didn't really have like a little house to go to, and someone's put because they had like a 2-hour break in between training session and yoga. And we're like, oh, where do we go? Usually we go back to someone's pool and have a ball, and then so that was all. I don't want to whinge about it.
No, yeah.
So, I mean, you obviously had a few coaches roll through St Kilda over the years. Who got the best out of you, and for what reason?
Who do we have? I hated Blighty. Tough. He liked all the flashy players, and I remember.
Did he do anything? I've heard Blighty stories and real weird stories. Did he do anything really weird at training?
He had a few funny things. I remember he got Matty Capuano out the front and got a medicine ball after a loss one day. He goes, let's do some sit-ups in front of the whole group. And he's like, fucking throw the ball. And Matty Capuano, he doesn't take any shit. He's like, threw the ball at Blighty and then went through his head and hit Blighty in the face. He's like, fuck, and he got up like he wanted to punch Kappas. It was pretty funny.
He asked for it.
Yeah, he asked for it. He goes, throw it harder, you little soft prick. And then Kappas gave it to him. He always wanted to keep your socks up, because he just loved all, the flashy.
I said that to Dee right before you came in. I said, my memory of Bakes is you wore your socks so low.
Well, I just thought that's how you.
But Blighty was.
Yeah, he wanted them up. He
opposite.
said he reckons it was because if you don't get a clip or scratch your shins or something. I was like, mate, whatever. And he had to go at me. He goes, why do you every time you get the ball, you just try and bulldoze someone? Don't you know how to fucking balk? And he got me up the front of he goes, I'll teach you how to balk. And I was like, mate, fuck off. I wanted to punch him. I remember then he got the flick. But to answer your question, I love Rossi and Tomo equally. Both had different styles. Tomo was created a great bond in the group, a lot of camaraderie. Barbies every weekend. Ross, his style was just very methodical and awesome. You'd know your role every week. So both of those coaches I think got the best out of me and sort of like my style.
I think of Tomo. Did you play in that famous 03 Wizard Cup win?
I think I did my brain. No, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, and then
the famous photo.
Yeah,
that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, we're allowed to smile.
Pretty sure I was there.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, was there any word around after that? Because they didn't smile. Were you not allowed to smile?
I think Tomo was he was like, the job's not done until we've won a granny. So
Yeah.
it was like, he said that openly, and he never mentioned the word grand final premiership. It was a bit of a weird vibe. It was we're not smiling, we're not resting until the job's done. So
Well, I was smiling anyway.
yeah,
Babe,
you saw Lenny trying not to smile. I was like,
I mean, it's instinct. You're holding up a trophy. Like,
I would have smiled.
They used to take it a bit more serious back then too. The old Wizard Cup.
they
It's
did.
a bit more than it.
Carlton won it about 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Was there ever a temptation to leave, go to other clubs? Was there other teams that sniffed around for you? And how close did you ever get to going?
There was one year where Carlton put in an offer.
Okay.
And I think it was when I used to be playing on Juddy. I don't know. And
Could have been.
okay, get that Baker. I'm sick of him pulling my underarm hairs out.
yeah, I'll pay for it myself.
He goes, I want to elbow him. And they put in an offer, and I think I won't go into all the details, but it was like, I'm never leaving. I'm a loyal man. I'm never leaving. And then I was like, they gave me the offer. I went, holy fuck. That's like twice as much as
Wow.
it was a big offer, and I'd
What year was this, roughly?
Oh, geez, it must have been around 2005-ish, I think it would have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a meeting with Ratton, and because I remember saying to my manager, Paul Connors at the time, I said, I'm never leaving, so you can do it. He's just saying, let me do my effing job, Bakes. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, he said, he goes, you're going from me. You got to go from me. I said, all right, fuck, whatever, but I'm never leaving. And then, yeah, they put an offer in. I said, interesting. But yeah, that was the only time I looked sideways a little bit, but yeah, I had a meeting with the Saners and the board. And
Did you consider it? Like thinking
well,
about?
I had to.
Yeah.
I had to consider it because it was without saying the figures, but yeah, a lot more than twice as much as what I was getting. So I thought always consideration when you're sort of growing up and you think,
Of course.
yeah, it's like.
Because when you think about it in today's day and age too, I'm sure, and it's well documented that the money now is a lot more than what it was back then. For you, was there a after footy education piece in the mix for you guys? Because if you're getting offered a big offer from Carlton, are you thinking, oh shit, this could actually set myself up after footy, or I don't know, towards the end, are you not really thinking? Or do you not have the tools necessarily, or are there tools?
No, AFL offer you basically everything. They
Okay.
have everything on a silver platter. So I've been asked that question before, and it's like they do. They're amazing, but it's sort of you got to take that step yourself, I suppose, and take it all up. I remember doing a business course, and they sort of, if you're not going well, they'll help you out, and so yeah, you get everything that you could ask for, and I think players should probably look more deeply into life after footy. If I had my time again, I probably would. But yeah, AFL, AFLPA are awesome.
Would you, if you're playing in today's day and age, how do you think you'd go?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they asked if I could tag Nick Dacos one time. I was like, I'd love to have a crack, but yeah, as I got old, I got a lot of injuries in the later years.
But if you're at your peak fitness, I'm just talking about more, even just the tactics and the style of play, and it's not that long ago.
I probably wouldn't get away with what I did, even though I didn't get away that much. I think Mike Sheen said in the interview that I was the only player ever to have 15 tribunal appearances and 15 guilties. So that's one record I hold. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so these days I think I'd have probably a drone hanging around me and fucking zeroing in and not letting me get away with anything.
They put a GPS in you.
I probably wouldn't go that well, I don't think.
So, but even just chatting to you now and even hearing interviews back in the day, like you're so jovial and upbeat and happy and funny, but then on the field it's almost like this white line fever. And I know the analogy you said earlier about, family members will die if which is
a bit deep, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredibly deep. Might need a psychologist to come talk through. But even just for local footy, what are some methods? Are we talking pinching?
Well, without going the dirty one, the ones that I had, the pulling the arm hairs out, all the tactics I had, I just found just through accident. So one time I got hit in the back of the elbow, and it made my arm just go dead for the rest of the game. So that was like, I'm just going to whack people. If they've got a straight arm, I'm just going to all day. So I had like 3 people taken off with their arm just bandaged up and taken off. But that was my favourite move because it would numb their arm.
Yeah.
So I got Stevie J with that, and he dropped marks. And
okay, yeah, clever.
Yeah, the tactics, they didn't start out as dirty. Timing, like Juddy was amazing at timing at stoppages. So. Yep. I would try and stand on his foot as the ball's getting bounced, or give him a little whack in the sternum just to get his timing off. Gary Ablett liked a bit of space, so I'd sort of push him into the contest and get him congested. Where Juddy would fly through, so I'd be like trying to get in front of him. So there was heaps of tactics, but yeah, as I mentioned, they got a bit dirtier. And then I sharpened the stops one time.
I was going to say, have they changed the rules to no metal stops now?
Yeah, no metal stops. But that was another. I only sharpened them to get more grip on the Telstra Dome. It was named back in the day, Marvel Stadium, to get more grip. And then I accidentally stood on someone's foot one day, and I was like, so then I was just like standing on ankles. Yeah, it was brutal, but it was like later in my career when I was getting a bit slower. So
had to find a way.
Yeah, had to find a way to win.
Yeah,
that's funny. Standing on their feet.
Keen to hear about the poker It's a passion of yours. It's a
Yep.
skill of yours. You enjoy playing a bit of poker.
Yep.
You and a few close friends, and obviously your late great friend Warne.
Yep.
Talk us through poker.
Yeah, I think I started playing because you had a bit of downtime in footy, and you weren't allowed to go out and party that much. It was like, so we started playing a few home games, and then it sort of grew. And I remember when I met Warne, I think I had an article in the paper about playing poker, and he was a poker fan, and that's how we sort of bonded, I suppose. He was in the rooms. He was a St Kilda supporter, and got invited around to his place for some poker games, and then I've been over to Vegas a few times playing, and it's just a great game. It's competitive. I love bluffing, but now the boys know that, so I don't win often. But I think it's just a fun game where it's like you're taking on other opponents, and it's
I just realised I asked the exact same question to Kevin, like word for word to Kevin Brown. I said, "Tell me about poker." Well, I could have changed it.
Change it a little bit.
He's the best to play poker.
I'll edit that. We'll edit that later.
On that, what's your first memories of Warne? I mean, you talked about. I mean, we all know about his love of St Kilda, but if you can think of your earliest memory of meeting the King, what was that?
It was in the rooms, but it was after a Saints game because he loved the Sainers. And I just remember being at his house and throwing Jacko around in the pool when he was a kid.
Wow.
Just picking him up and throwing him, and now Jackson's like a bloody rip.
He could throw you.
He could throw me around. Like I went to the gym with him a couple of months ago. He's like throwing out these massive weights, and known him. I don't know, 15, 20. I don't know how many years I've known him, but the memory was meeting him in the club rooms, and I wasn't a cricket fan, so I think he liked the fact that I wasn't a cricket fan because I didn't really talk about cricket. We just we talk about poker mainly. It's been a while. Yeah.
That's really interesting because if you're not a cricket fan, you probably don't understand how mega famous that man was. And I've heard quite a few people say, I think Sam Newman said, Sam came on our show last year, a couple of years ago, and we touched on Warne, and he said, if cricket went into America, he would probably nearly be one of the most famous people on earth.
Yeah.
But probably for him, it's refreshing someone that isn't talking about all his cricket memories, and like you got to just enjoy.
Well, I sort of knew how famous he was. 'Cause as soon as you go out with him or something, it's like all the attention he gets. But it was good to know him sort of outside the cricketing world, and just loved his family and sort of loved looking after people and loved working on his charity. So it's been a sad couple of years, but
How did you go through that?
I really struggled. The first sort of nine or so months, I was full depression mode. And
Really?
Yeah, I didn't want to leave home, and because I think my life was so fun with having Warne as one of your best mates, and we had golf trips planned and poker trips, and then all of a sudden it's you've lost one of your best mates, and it's like you wake up and your life's not that exciting. But then you sort of got to go back and think, my life's not too bad. I've got a loving family. I've got mates. Spending some time with Jackson, I think it was the New Year's after losing Shane, and he was using it as a bit of a springboard to live a healthier life. He got off the drink, and he started getting fit. I'm thinking, what am I doing? Should be being a bit more of a role model here rather than sorrow and stuff. So it was that after that New Year's sort of started. I'm going to get fit again. Teamed up with some mates, and started looking after myself, and use it as a bit of a, I suppose, a positive rather than sort of dwelling on it.
Like we said, mate, you look great now.
Yeah, you're great. You're great, Nick. And is that obviously the loss of Shane, but you also lost your old man a couple of years earlier, and then now you're doing what you're doing. Did you probably ever think you would get out of where you were to get, like now you're talking in front of these big crowds, sharing your story, the key pillars of what you talk about, helping others. I'm sure there was a real shit dark time. I don't know if it was after Shane or more so your old man, but you must be pretty proud of now you're kind of where you are now. Yeah,
no, it's been a bit of a journey. After losing the old man, it was sort of a couple of years, I suppose, of some dark times. And I was playing at Craigieburn the year after, so I lost footy, then I lost the old man the next year. Sort of went in a bit of a downward spiral of getting on the drugs every weekend. And at Craigieburn, we didn't win a game all year, so it was more about the partying. The mindset and being depressed after losing the old man. So when I talk about those times, I look back on what got me out of those, and it was getting your body in shape, being around positive people, and it was a theme. So that's what I talk about recently with my grit talks is it's gratitude, resilience, inspiration, and teamwork. I sort of break down, morning routines and being around positive people, feeding your mind with positive things, and at both times, when I was losing my old man, that's what got me out of it. I signed up for a Tough Mudder race in Vegas, a 24-hour race, and being around good people, and that sort of clicked my mindset on I can get through hard things, physical, and there's a correlation between doing that and your mental toughness. So I looked back after losing Warne, I thought I've got to set myself a challenge, and I did an Ironman last year, and being around positive people, and now doing boxing. I love having a goal and sort of having something to aim on, because I think if you don't have that, you sort of you lose focus a bit.
And it sounds like, just talking to some of your mates, they're really proud of you and what you've achieved and what you're doing. So that's a a phenomenal endorsement. So huge congratulations for what you've done.
Thank you.
Do you want to jump into the first segment?
Let's go the tour edge, Blair. Let's bring the clubs out. And
Bakes was Bakes was over prepared for this segment today. Just like his footy career.
I didn't read the email. What's this segment? I'm not very organised. Sorry, guys.
So, are you a golfer, Bakes?
I am.
Okay, so
he's gonna love this.
You're gonna love this. So, Dos, maybe just talk before we introduce the segment. What's next to Bakes for the listeners?
So, Two Edge, their new series or their new line. It's magnificent.
725?
725. It looks very, very good. I've taken them out for a couple of hits. I might look the part. I don't hit it so good, but they're nice.
It helps your accuracy, though.
It helps my accuracy and my precision. But they have heaps of giveaways, actually. So head over to their Instagram, Tour Edge AU. They've got everything over there.
Yes, absolutely. Because now we'll be going into the new year and the Boxing Day sale. So just keep an eye out on Tour
Now, what's the segment?
Well, the segment is, as we said, Bakes has brought in a show and tell segment. So it's just like the old kindergarten, Bakes. And we've asked you to bring in an item of importance to you to talk about. And we'll...
Do we tell the honest truth or not?
We tell the truth.
We want the honest truth.
Well, I didn't know there was a... and I went through the car, and this was the only things I could find. But I thought, I've always been a fighter. I grew up being a fighter, and recently signed up to do another fight. I can't name it at the moment, but
okay.
So you know who you're fighting, but
have you got him covered?
Yeah, I don't know who it is, but yeah.
Is it an ex-AFL player?
No.
Okay.
Oh. No, it's a different fight.
Different code?
Yeah, it hasn't been signed, delivered now. But
yeah.
But no, just the boxing gloves. I just thought, I've always been a fighter, never give up. So I thought these are it, and they'll be donated.
Oh right.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, you mentioned your early years in Colac and your brother, and do you remember your first fight? Because and even hearing you on a couple of other podcasts, and you had to hold your ground growing up. Do you remember the first hit that you got?
I remember there was a kid kicked me in the head in footy, and I threw a punch at him, and then I saw him at the Colac show. Went up and faced him, he threw a punch at me. So he threw the first punch, and then just got him an absolute ripper, and I think it was my first one. But I think I looked back, and I think I had like 19 fights.
Yeah,
I'm not sure you won't talk about that. Won't talk about those in depth, but
kids.
Colac was a rough.
Were you 19-0 or what?
19-1.
Yeah.
Someone got me. But yeah, it was my brother and I used to get in a bit of mischief, and got caught in the wrong places a few times, and I'd stand up for people. And you have to do that
always stick up for your mates.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we appreciate you showing us those gloves, and like you said, they'd be donated. So that's
donated. It'll be worth $5 at least.
Yeah, absolutely. once you get that,
I've had them for about 20 years though. So
wow.
Yeah, use these for training against Brody, and so.
Oh mate, that's.
So you have a hit of golf too? I
love the golf. I had a few operations last year that because I started getting lessons. So I got addicted after I hit the first few good balls. It was got a bit addicted.
Well, Tour Edge, we'll give you the gifts a little bit later on, but they've given you some. They've given you something, so you're gonna look very nice.
Thanks, settle down.
We'll give them out to you at the end of the show.
Awesome.
Now, another big talking point for me, and my favourite player growing up, I had his number on his back. I actually got to present.
I said I was your favourite player.
That was my sister's favourite player, Base.
I must have misheard
You're close second. And I actually had the honour of presenting him at his Guernsey at one of those pre-season days or whatever they do.
that
Where
at
you
Frankston?
I was at Frankston and got to go up stage and greet the great Stephen Milne.
Oh, Milne. I thought you were going to say Lenny Hayes.
No, it was Milne. It was
Loves
Milne.
Lenny,
It
but
was Milne. He was the first player I ever met, and anyway, we won't go into all the nuffy
No,
chat.
we,
but
we love the Nuffy chat.
there's been a lot of nuffy chat on this podcast, but my interest with you and Milne was Saintly Entertainment.
Yes.
So, Saintly Entertainment, can you describe this business model? Why is it still not going?
Well, it would have been going. We had I think the ratings were going through the roof. So we'd just challenge each other each week. Like we'd put the electric shockers on from the physio, and so you could last the longest. And we did some stupid shit.
So it's a prank.
Yeah, it was like a prank challenge thing each week. It was sort of like what Danny Frawley and Spud did.
Oh, yeah.
I think they took our idea.
Yeah. So was this on a club YouTube?
It was on like Foxtel. It was like,
was it really?
Yeah, it was on Foxtel, and we had like 19 episodes or something. And then they offered us a big contract. And then Grant Thomas said, "No, we don't want the club to be looking silly." I was like, "Oh, fuck." They offered
It would
us,
fly now.
Yeah, it was like it'd be fly. It would have been
Dominate on YouTube. That's where it is.
It would have been awesome. So we had one a week for ages, and we weren't even getting paid. We're just doing it for the laugh. Then they offered us a big contract, and then Tomo said no. I was like, "Fuck, a bit pissed."
That's annoying.
Yeah, a bit pissed
Reminds
off.
me of Did you ever watch Wild Boys with?
Yeah, it was like that.
That's
I'd
literally
do all the
Wild
stupid
Boys.
stuff. Mooney would like do all the easy stuff, and I'd be like going on Swiss balls and doing backflips and getting oranges thrown at the back of my head. And
I can
ping pong
understand
balls
if you injured yourself seriously, then Grant Thomas would be pretty
yeah, he'd be pissed off. We weren't
Pissed
doing
off, yeah.
anything too crazy, but
backflipping on medicine balls. Did you just say? Or?
it's sliding along.
Sliding,
Like it was 20.
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't
Okay,
backflip.
yeah.
It wasn't that.
Did you guys have a business, an entertainment style business together?
Was there an ABN?
Yeah.
That's-
Was there- were
I
you
started
going
something
out-
called Saintly Entertainment. Cause
Yeah.
I was always a bit of an entrepreneur trying to think
Yeah.
ways, and we'd go and do kids parties or clinics, and we'd go and take a sign jump around, and it was a young kid would do some sort of hide and seek with the things with some gifts, and so it went pretty well. So we
Yeah.
were getting bookings nearly every week, and pre-season we'd sort of get booked out, kids parties and footy clubs and clinics, and it was actually went really well.
Did Milne contribute much to the business side of
Not a
things?
lot.
or-
No, he turned up.
So you're the
signed
brains
a few
and
things. He signed a few things, and I was the brains behind the operation. But Minnie was there, so it was good.
Yeah. You two would have got up to. So you two were quite close and still are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Still catch up a bit. Yep.
What's the best footy trip story you've got with Milne? We're not allowed to say. We're not allowed to say it on air.
No, we had a few. He was just always the joker. He was always hiding in people's lockers and doing all the pranks around the club. It just made the club a better place because you're always laughing and got you up and about. Even after a loss, there was sort of relied on him to bring the boys back up. So he was always a good clubman.
So were you the same level of annoyance to the other teammates in the club?
Oh, he was the most annoying.
Oh, he was?
Milne dog.
Did he ever get under your skin to the point where...
Nah.
No.
He was all right.
Did you guys, what was the most, and I'm thinking about, like you talked about your early days and missing training, but as your career went on, did you ever, I'm thinking punishments, for a poor loss or, with some of those old school coaches you had. Do you have any memories of basically, lack of a better word, being punished and what
I
that
remember
would...
Tomo used to, in the winter, if we didn't get our tackles or selfless acts, he'd make us walk out on the Brighton bars and jump off and tread water for like 15 minutes when it was just freezing at like 5 a.m. So you go down, he used to live down in Brighton, and that was just, and I remember just, you couldn't move because it was like you couldn't breathe.
Be numb.
One of the boys had to get rescued out one time, I can't remember who
Really?
it was. Yeah, someone had to drag him out because he couldn't, it was just
Hypothermia.
numb, and it was like 15 minutes. It was like, but it was like you had to get 4 selfless acts each, so it was always like a little small forward like Milne that wouldn't get his fucking tackles. And then we all, and it's like one in all in, so we all had to fucking jump in and tread water for 15 minutes. That was probably the hardest thing in the middle of winter. It was like freezing.
You hear stories about Rui and what a crazy trainer Rui was. Like, apparently he just had and I don't know why, I'll never forget seeing this. It was a NAB Cup game, and I remember seeing on the footage he was just spewing his guts up. Like, it would have been quarter time.
Yeah.
Like, what was he really like as a trainer? And he was always doing these crazy warm-ups before games, I remember.
Yeah, I got stuck with him with
Did
that.
you?
I think I had a kick with him before the game. He'd run around the square, and then I'd have a kick with him. But he was an animal. He just trained that hard till he vomited, and then I went into the games though. So obviously trained the way he played. I think Robert Harvey was the only probably person that I'd see nearly matched Rui's intensity. So I think Rui would run bloody kilometres before the game.
Yeah.
And, he's a psycho.
If you had to start a team from scratch right now, everybody at their elite, at their absolute peak, and you can only take 3 guys, who are you picking? Let's say you're the coach of Tasmania. You could pick St Kilda.
there we go.
St Kilda
okay.
players that you've played with,
Yeah.
and they're all peak. Who are the 3 you're taking and why?
Lenny Hayes,
that's hard.
just because I think he's my favourite player. He's
Yep.
one of my best mates. Like Lenny was someone. I remember if having a down day, and I'm not a very spiritual person, but some like 3/4 time if I'm in a shit game, I'd go up and like grab his jumper just to try and drain some of his power. I said when he,
Are you serious?
it was a serious.
Wow.
I said it when he got into the Hall of Fame. I'd never told the story, never told him. But I just I thought he had like magical powers. I thought he was Superman. So I'd like go and hold his jumper and just try and drain some of his powers. And I thought he was that special of a player.
Wow.
Yeah. Rui, and I'd have to say G-Chain, Fraser Garrick.
Oh,
Just
G.
because I fucking love watching him play. He's could do anything at any moment. So
He's unreal.
Those 3.
Do you look at that era, like that era still gets spoken about, especially obviously among Saints fans? And again, we don't want to get too nuffy, but I do. I think about that, and I think I heard Joey talk about it on another pod during the year, and it's like you guys were such an epic team for like 3 or 4 years, and you never quite got there. When you get together, and I'm sure you have reunions, and I don't know how often you see each other, and you obviously say you're close with Lenny. I don't know with how many others, but do you talk about that and like talk about, fuck, that was close, or I wish we got that, or you're obviously still proud of the group you had and what you did together?
I think the heartache makes it. I think you get a tighter bond. I suppose I wouldn't know because you obviously win a flag, you can have a tight bond as well. But I think being so close and having your heart ripped out 2 or 3 times, we had the draw as well. But we catch up every prelim every year. We catch up for a beer. I actually missed this year because I was busy, but we catch up every now and then, like 2 or 3 months, and we all have a dinner. But yeah, it's still a tight knit group.
We had Razor on the show earlier this year, and he talked
Razor,
about
right?
2010, the 2010 grand final, and his memories of it from an umpiring point of view, which is a unique take. What do you think about when you think about that day and the draw?
The draw.
Like, what are your memories? Is it something that is it vivid to you, or is it like a blur?
It's a bit of a blur. Like I've
Yeah.
never watched I hadn't watched the whole game, but then about 6 months ago I saw the end. I didn't realise we had it in our forward line, and
So you actually sat back and just watched it, and
I just the last like 5 minutes. It was just
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
and I went, oh fuck, I want to watch it because it's always like you don't want to bring up bad memories. But I remember Cozzy said, I dropped a mark, and I couldn't remember that. Then I watched it. I thought, he could have taken it, but he got his arm hit. So that was one time. And then obviously there was the Milne bounce. There was a few things, but it was in our forward 50 in the last couple of minutes. I'm thinking, someone just pick it up and kick a point. And it seemed that easy. Re-watching it, like fuck, it was so close. But then the next week, I remember looking around at training the Thursday after the draw, and I'm like, I was just feeling so fucked, and I was thinking I had all ice bags. And I look over at Lenny. Lenny's got ice bags on his shoulder. Rui's like got ice on both knees. I'm thinking, fuck. I was sort of thinking, I hope people aren't feeling like I am.
Yeah.
Then I looked around. I thought, shit. But
Wow.
then I thought, fuck. I hope Collingwood's feeling the same, because obviously a bruising game, a draw. You put everything out there, and just hoping that they're feeling just as bad as you. But yeah, they came out looking fresh and give us a bit of a flogging, bit of a touch up.
Is it time for Bayford Ford?
It is.
Okay.
It's time for
Bring
our
it
next
over,
segment,
Blair.
the Bayford Ford
What are
mystery
we
box.
The box of mystery.
Josh, talk
as I
about
like to
Bayford
call it.
Ford a little
Well,
bit.
what are you driving at the moment, Bakes? You don't have to say Ford. It's okay.
No, I'm just driving a Mitsubishi at the moment.
Mitsubishi.
Okay, beautiful.
Well, when you need to upgrade, we've got the number to
I
the
do need
boys.
an upgrade.
To the
I'm in the
boys.
I'm in the market.
You're in the
at moment,
market,
yeah.
okay.
So if we get mates rates, I'm in.
Well,
we
can-
might be able to have some.
We're meeting with them in
Really?
a couple of days, so we'll
literally.
definitely. So Bayford Ford, before you pull one out, we'll better just give them a good plug. Otherwise, yeah.
Otherwise, get in trouble.
So the greatest thing about Bayford Ford Bakes, so when you go out there, we'll set you up with a nice test drive. But if you just want to sit around afterwards, this showroom is like nothing you've ever seen. So we're talking
marvellous.
cinema rooms, games room.
really?
So yeah, when you're done, test driving cars, you go have a bit of fun in there too. So
Go on, put your hand in
BayfordFord.com.
there. Put your hand in there.
All right.
What has he got? Yeah, it's his
Two
hand.
truths and a lie.
Oh,
I think is that between your name? That's a weird name. I'm thinking, what the hell?
no one can read his handwriting.
Yeah, my handwriting is shocking.
He said he's good at bluff.
Okay.
So this could be great.
This is great.
Oh.
So, Bakes, we want you to come up with 2 truths and 1 lie, and we have to guess what the lie is, okay?
Okay.
You can have a minute to think.
Think about it.
Think about it. You don't have to rush.
Doesn't have to be any specific related. You can. We just took on, and we actually Campbell Brown took on. They had
pulled the same
thing,
one.
but we got him.
All right.
We got him in one.
Okay, I think I've got it.
Okay.
All right.
I did karate as a kid.
Okay.
I did a bungee jump in Bali, and it broke. The bungee cord broke. And the last one.
This could be the bluff.
Great
though.
bluff.
Last one.
This could be the bluff.
My brother and I won a grand final together in 1997.
Oh, gee, that was...
Drafted 99. You were 99, weren't you? Drafted?
I'm not telling you fucking
okay.
clues.
I reckon you did karate.
I reckon karate's one. The bungee jump. Now, if that snaps, you're gone, though, aren't you?
Yeah, but there could be a malfunction in there still.
That's a pretty specific thing. So
Well, let's go the bungee is
No,
the
wait,
lot.
wait,
No,
wait,
wait.
just before you do.
Okay, sorry. I'm overruled.
No, I'm just saying,
I'll show you.
that's pretty specific, though.
It
don't you
is. It is.
think? What do you think? I chose for Brownie. I'll pause in your court.
Time.
All right,
They call time in poker.
Okay. I reckon that you didn't play in a grand final with your brother.
Wrong. Yeah, you got it right the first time. Bungee cord.
Really?
No, it didn't break. I mean,
Yeah, that was the
I did a
lie.
bungee with Lenny, and I was too scared to do
was
it by
gonna choose
myself
that.
because I was scared of heights.
Oh,
and Lenny
right.
goes, "I'll do it with you." So we did a tandem. That just popped into my mind just as the truth.
it.
Wow.
You had it right.
I know.
Yeah,
I
right.
bluffed you.
Oh, there's the granny.
Oh.
There you go.
There's a great. Oh, he's already found it. That's my brother Mick Baker. Got me into footy. I played basketball until I was 15. I think I got ejected about 3 times for rough play. And he goes, "Come
really?
and play footy, you fuckwit." And I was like, "All right, I'll play a couple of games."
What is that Collingwood colours or North?
North
Yeah.
Melbourne. South Colac Kangaroos.
South Colac.
Who else
Yeah,
is
97 grand final. Got the tattoo on my ass to prove it. So bad luck in guessing that.
That should have been your show and tell.
Probably
That
my
should have
best
been your
footy
show and
memory
tell.
in ever. So yeah, I should have brought the.
That is
the medal.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was saying more. You should have shown us your ass as your show and tell for the tattoo.
Yeah.
I'll show at the end. I'll show.
So out of Colac too. I mean, Luke Hodge, he was out of Colac.
Yeah, Hodgie, yeah.
Who else is there? Anyone else that comes?
No, Hodgie's for
Just
Aaron
until-
Finch, cricketer.
Oh yeah.
See, Colac.
Do you have
He's from
anything
Colac.
anything named after you in the town of Colac? Any wings or any benches? Or
Nah.
No, we'll have to
Me
get
and
a
my brother
petition.
stole a Baker Street sign. That was about it.
There's a
Great
good
song.
bakery in Colac. I can't remember. It's on the main strip opposite KFC. So great.
There you go.
Great
When have you
bakery.
been?
Well, no, because I go through there to go to Port Fairy
Oh,
for
of
20
course.
years.
Oh,
So
Port Fairy, lovely spot.
yeah, good spot.
There you
Great
go.
spot.
Well, before we let you go, Bakes,
Yep.
talk to us a little bit about what you're doing today and a bit more about your business because it's quite incredible.
Yeah, so the grit, which I mentioned earlier, so I started off after going through a tough time, losing Warnie. I got invited to talk at a community shelter, and I said I hate public speaking, but yeah, I said I'm never doing that again. But I got a standing ovation from like the 15 people that were there, and someone says, can you come and do another talk? And I said, no, I hate public speaking. And they said, we'll give you $1,000. I said, I'll do one more. I'll do one more talk. Then I did another talk and then got another referral to a footy club. And yeah, so it started just by accident. But then started getting a few nice messages saying, telling your story has made me speak up. I'm struggling.
Yep.
And then using sort of the fitness and being around good people. So I just started telling my story and what got me out of those dark places when losing my old man and Warnie, and just being able to help a few people, speak up, inspire people not to give up, I suppose. It sort of led into more and more talks and a few corporate talks and footy clubs mainly. But been enjoying it. And it's been a bit of a journey.
No, it's amazing what you're doing, mate. It's not easy getting up and doing the public speaking for one, but two, sharing your story, which I'm sure is very vulnerable and can be tough at times. Have you got the keynote now? Have you got a full keynote that you?
I've got a presentation.
There
now.
you go.
Yeah, Mum helped me put the presentation
Nice.
together after the first one. So I did
That's good.
My sister helped me with the PowerPoint. Thanks, Vicky. And just Mum gave me a few memories of being growing up being the short kid and battling resilience all the time and. So I sort of just let in, and Mum told me some stories I didn't know when I was younger, just put a PowerPoint together and
Nice.
change it every time. But
So you mentioned footy clubs and corporate gigs. So people listening right now, who's a perfect client for you, or what's your sweet spot? What kind of organisations?
yeah, well, to be honest, I thought it'd be all all footy clubs, you know,
Yep.
ex-footy player. But there's just everyone seems to be has people that's struggling. So organisations, you know, I've done a lot of corporates, schools,
Yep.
primary schools, colleges, because everyone's going through. I think like the mental health crisis is going through the roof. You know, the suicide rates from 15 to 45, biggest killer. So it's amazing the organisations that have reached out and said, you know, we've got people struggling with their mental health. So what started as sort of a bit of a footy club thing has sort of led into schools. Now I've written a children's book. I was just working on today, about bullying. A little
Is it out yet?
It's nearly out.
Okay.
So I've done all the illustrations. So that's really good. So it's sort of leading into a few different things.
Can you mention what that's called?
It's called Bully.
It is called
It's about
Bully.
a bull shark and a little great white shark called Bam, which was my nickname when I was younger.
Damn.
Right. Okay. When,
This is exciting.
When is that
next month or two. I've just got the final illustrations and everything
Fantastic.
done. So
That's super exciting, mate.
Who would you have ever
who would've
thought?
thunk it?
I was going to say, who would have thought? Would you have ever thought you'd be writing a children's book?
No, never.
Yeah, wow, that's
Never.
mate. That's honestly, it's very admirable. So congratulations.
oh, thank you.
Now this is the fun part. This is where it bakes. Or do we go Queen? I was going to say, do we give him all his goodies now?
Go Queen of tickets.
Oh,
first.
okay. No,
Go
Yeah,
Queen of
there's the
tickets.
time. Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I know you're hanging for these presents, Bakes. But first, we want to talk about an exciting competition with not just our good friends, but good friends at Bakes too. Queen of Tickets. If you want a ticket to any sporting event, any concert, any type of entertainment, you can't quite get a ticket. Typically, they're sold out.
Yep.
You know where to go.
Safe and secure.
Queen of Tickets always have tickets. They've helped me out for the last 5 or 10 years. When everything's sold out, bang, website, queenoftickets.com, bang.
No scams. It's all legit.
Nah, they are amazing.
They are.
Whenever-
And
yeah.
for this episode, Bakes, they've been so generous because they're obviously mates of yours. So
Yep.
one lucky viewer or listener or follower of dos&d is going to receive 6 tickets to the Australian Open. And we're not talking outside court 18 or 19. This is Rod Laver Arena, upper level.
Courtside.
So it's you and not quite courtside. Not quite courtside.
Come on, Queen of Tickets.
We took them for ourselves.
Yeah.
So what you and 5 of your mates could win. So Dos, how do we enter that competition?
Pretty simple. You got to follow dos&d, follow Queen of Tickets, share this story or share the post to your story. Sorry, I should say, and you go in the draw to win those 6 tickets. Take you and 5 mates.
Rod Laver Arena, we're talking.
Do I get to go or is that?
Oh well,
Bakes might, but maybe
If you're a Saints fan, I'll come along. So it'll be you and 4 mates.
that's actually not a bad night.
If you're a
really
Saints
upping
fan.
it,
If you're a
yeah.
Saints fan.
And did you already mention you get to choose the day?
Yeah,
The day
you
or
get to
night.
choose the day. It'll be day 1 or 2, night or day session. So
How good's
so
that?
how bloody good. Now it's time for the presents.
Okay, bring him in,
Big
please.
thank
About
you.
fucking time.
So the first one is our good friends Milkman.
What a milkman do, D? Who
Oh,
are
well,
they?
Bakes is going home. They are all things male grooming. And today they're giving you a natural deodorant and a nice little cologne so you can give yourself a nice spray before dinner tonight.
That's amazing.
Bakes.
Thank you.
And actually, for all dos&d listeners, you can get 20% off right now for your first order by using the code
Love that.
dos&d at Milkman, which we'll put up the link for that. So a big thank you to our friends at Milkman.
Grooming.
I don't know why there's laughing.
Need to
going on.
shave the plums at the moment, so that's good.
Well, they do beard oil. Maybe they need other kinds of oil. And then the dos&d goodie bag. Bring that over, please, Blair.
Here we go.
So there's some
this
gifts
is
in
good.
here.
Yeah.
Mate, this is why you come in.
I came all the way back from Mum's house.
So
Yeah, can we just say you distributed all the way from Colac to be here tonight?
we should. We'll talk about some of the things in the bag. Goodie bag.
Well, you love your gym. You probably hit the protein. Oh, what's
do we
in
got?
that?
Well, that's a
White box.
Bayford Ford.
That's the Bayford Ford drink bottle. So
That's-
you'll be going over there.
yeah,
nice
there's
little
a
drink
trouble
bottle.
mug, yeah.
Masashi, they got a couple of protein bars in there for you. You got a Tour Edge hat.
We've got a promo over there.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
mate,
is beautiful.
This is great. Musashi bar.
He loves
beautiful.
free shit.
Fucking beautiful.
And then Fleet Plant Hire, naming rights partner. You know, they got a golf tower for you there.
I actually need one of those.
Perfect.
Well, you'll see. There's
They got a little golf
Fuck,
pack.
this is never ending. This is
Golf
like one of those
glove.
This is like one of those magical.
Yeah, it's literally Mary Poppins bag.
Oh, golf.
Just golf
I've
glove.
actually lost mine. Perfect.
Yep,
There you
perfect. Yeah, you're
Fuck, it's still going.
There's some balls and tees in there, courtesy of Fleet Plan Hire Solutions, our naming right partner.
Perfect.
Heck,
I
what's that?
I lost 3 balls playing golf yesterday.
Well,
so
you've just
that's
replaced
perfect.
3 more. But the best thing in there, Bakes, is actually, that's a little Bayford Ford keyring. So when you go buy your new...
Baby Ford, I'll see you tomorrow. Test drives in the cinema.
And of course, don't forget the tote bag. The
What?
dos&d
The
tote
dos&d
bag.
Oh,
tote
yeah, that was my favourite bit.
Yeah.
Mate, yay. So when you go shopping, mate,
I'm sure you head to your local
loud and
Woolies
proud.
and
But mate, we just want to say big Thank you. So thank you to our sponsors for sorting Bakes out. But thank you so much, mate, for making the time to come in tonight. We appreciate it. We've loved having you. And we've had such a laugh, haven't we?
We have. It's been good fun.
Thanks for having me.
No worries.